So, if you remember, last Wednesday we were talking about reading to sound like the character, using expression when we read, and rereading for understanding. So today, some of the new things we're going to talk about is if you're in partnerships, you want to make sure that you introduce characters to each other. So if I'm reading, I'm going to introduce characters to my partner, and if my partner is reading, they're going to introduce their characters to me. And then you also want to reread to sound like the character. It makes it much easier to understand and to even feel like the character and get to know the character if you try to sound like the character. So I'm going to start, and Mrs. Blackmore's my partner, and I'm going to read a book to her, and I'm going to make sure I introduce my characters and sound like the character. Be listening to see if I do that. So this book is called Tumbleweed Stew. Jack Rabbit opened his eyes. He stretched and looked up at the pretty blue sky. Jack's tummy growled. He thought, the sun is up, the sky is blue. What a great day for tumbleweed stew. He hopped along, jumping over brush and cactus.
I'm noticing that you kind of sound like a robot.
Oh.
And I'm not really sure, like, who are your characters? You didn't introduce them to me.
Oh my gosh,
Characters
I didn't.
are like a new friend. So I'd like to meet your character.
You know what? You're right. That's what I was supposed to do, and I completely forgot. So I don't know the book all that well yet, but I've already learned that Jack Rabbit is one of the characters. So, and I did sound like a robot.
You know, when I think of a jackrabbit, they're pretty fast.
They
and
are.
They're pretty springy.
They can jump pretty high.
So I'm thinking your voice could sound a little bit more like a jackrabbit,
Okay.
like really excited.
All right,
maybe.
let me try it again then.
Okay,
All right.
I'll listen.
Jack Rabbit opened his eyes. He stretched and looked up at the pretty blue sky.
I'm gonna give it a thumbs up.
Oh, good. Jack's tummy growled. He thought, the sun is up, the sky is blue. Oh, I'm noticing the exclamation mark.
You know what? I kind of saw that the last time.
Okay. Yep, I was thinking so hard about saying the words right that I forgot to use expression. Okay. What a great day for tumbleweed stew. He hopped along, jumping over brush and cactus.
Wow, I think that really sounds like the character.
I feel better about that too. So, you know what? Sometimes you do have to go back and reread to make sure you're using your expression and thinking about those characters.
I'm wondering if there'll be other characters in here that you can get to know.
Would you like to read a little bit?
Oh, I would love to. You know what? I'm already noticing something up here. Wow.
Oh.
Interesting. And Jackrabbit, he's checking it out. All right.
Yes.
So let's see if I can sound like a jackrabbit.
Okay.
Before long, he came to a big gate. Over the gate, it said, "To Circle Ranch." Jack slipped under the fence and into a herd of cattle.
I'm
Cattle.
guessing these are the cattle.
Is cattle a fancy word for cows?
I think it might be.
Those are some funny looking cows.
They've got big long horns.
I wonder if that's going to help us figure out the characters.
I like that we're thinking about what we're about to read.
This is why I love reading with a friend.
Me too.
Especially with a new book.
That's
You
why
can do
partners
that.
are so important. Do you want me to read this time?
Why don't you read that and I'll
Okay.
read the next one.
I'm noticing that exclamation mark, so I have to think about that. Moo, said Longhorn. Move on. Well, howdy, said Jack. I made a mistake. I'm going to reread that.
You know what? I like the way you kind of use like a cowboy voice. You did.
I tried to.
I like it.
And I noticed a mistake, so I always go back when I notice a mistake. Well, howdy, Jack said. How do you do? How would you like some tumbleweed stew? There's no such thing as tumbleweed stew, said Longhorn, munching the dry grass.
I noticed you changed your voice for the longhorn. What made you think to do that?
Well, we've been talking about to sound like the character, so I sort of thought that might be what a longhorn sounded like, especially one that's a little bit grumpy and not believing.
Yeah, I can see in his face he doesn't look real happy to be bothered by the jackrabbit.
Right.
Should we do one more page?
Sure, your turn.
We'll do one more page. Okay, so I'm really going to try to sound like a jackrabbit, and I see he's leaving the longhorn. Not a nice place, thought Jack. Oh, wait a minute. He looks upset and he's running away.
Yeah, you might want to change your voice a little bit. He's probably feeling maybe a little sad or a little upset.
All right, I'm going to try it like that. Not a nice place, thought Jack. He ran down the path to the ranch house. Anyone home? He called. No, he heard from inside. Go away. How about some lunch? Asked Jack.
I know. You know, I like how you used your voice. Like, go away. That's how people would say it. But Jack's still trying.
He is still trying. I'm wondering how the rest of this book will play out.
I'm not sure. And you made sure that your voice went up when you had the question mark.
I did. You know, when I saw that the answer was no, I didn't think that was very polite, so that's why I used a grumpy voice.
Yeah, I noticed you were sort of looking ahead in your text to make sure you were reading it the right way.
And if I hadn't read it right, I can always go back and try again.
That's right. We all make mistakes.
All right. Were we going to do one more page? I think we were going to do one more page.
Oh, yes, you're right. You know what?
Or
That's
a couple
right.
more.
We looked ahead.
You go first.
Okay. Armadillo came out onto the porch. This is my ranch, she said. This is my food and you can't have any. Jack took a chance. He said, but I would like to cook for you. Have you heard of tumbleweed stew? There's no such thing as tumbleweed stew, Armadillo said. Oh my gosh, you know what? This is starting to remind me of another book I've read, and I read it to my class called Stone Soup. Do you know that story?
I do know that story.
We'll have to keep reading to see if it is, but it's reminding me of that.
I wonder, are they going to use a tumbleweed instead of stone?
Maybe.
That's funny. Okay. All right, I think we were going to read a couple more. Before Armadillo could blink, Jack started a fire. He spied an old pot and filled it with water. He set the pot of water. Let me try that again. He set the pot of water on the fire. After a while, he stuffed a big tumbleweed into the pot.
You predicted just right.
Oh my! So it is like Stone Soup. Knowing that book helped me think that through.
So I'm thinking some of these grumpy characters, just like in Stone Soup, are going to come back with maybe some other things to put in it.
And they won't be quite as grumpy
maybe
afterwards. And Jack sounds like he's pretty determined. The Jackrabbit sounds pretty determined.
And pretty smart. He's sort of got a plan.
I like that.
Armadillo looked into the pot. Jack took a taste and said, it smells so good. It tastes good too. But it needs more than I have to start that again.
That's okay.
But it needs more, this tumbleweed stew. Well, said Armadillo, there might be some carrots in my house.
Oh, so he's coming around. He's changing. I see a little bit of a smile there, too. Soon the tumbleweed and carrots were cooking in the big pot.
I think we have a really good prediction going. I think we used our voice to sound like the characters. And now we know more than one character. Of course, I think Jack is our main character.
Right, the most important. But I'm wondering what other kind of characters we'll meet, since we've met kind of characters that kind of live in the desert, don't they?
That's true.
So maybe they could take a good guess at some of the other characters besides an armadillo and a longhorn and a jackrabbit. What other characters might we see, and what other foods?
Now, I wonder if this book is in Epic or Raz.
It could be. Show the cover again so maybe they could find it. Tumbleweed Stew, and it's by Susan Stevens.
Susan Stevens Crummell.
Crummell, illustrated by Janet Stevens. If not, I think we're coming back to this on Wednesday.
We can talk more about it on Wednesday.
So
I know they're probably excited to find out if we're right about our predictions.
So do some good thinking while you are getting into your own reading, and maybe you could find this on Epic or Raz.
And as you read today, I want you thinking about, even if you don't have a person to talk to about your books, I've always told you can have stuffed animals, even a little brother or sister. Tell them about the characters. And then make sure you're going back, you're rereading, and you're going to try to sound like those characters. You can use a silly voice, you can use whatever voice you think that character would have to make it be truly who that character is.
So have fun with reading today. Do some great thinking. You'll have these charts on your slides so you can refer to those. Have a good day.
Bye.